So, let's start. Number 10, the zoo hypothesis. What if the reason you've never heard from anyone out there is because you were never meant to? The zoo hypothesis suggests that Earth isn't ignored at all, but carefully observed from a distance. According to this idea, advanced civilizations already know humanity exists, yet deliberately refuse to interact. Not out of cruelty or fear, but restraint. Just as humans observe animals inside protected wildlife reserves without interfering, these civilizations may be watching our progress, our conflicts, and our mistakes while remaining unseen. This theory offers a disturbing explanation for the silence of the universe. In a cosmos that should be filled with intelligent life, the quiet may not be natural. It may be intentional. Supporters often point to a strange historical detail. Reports of unidentified objects increased sharply after humans began detonating nuclear weapons. It's almost as if the moment we gained the ability to end ourselves, someone noticed. From the 1950s onward, objects were reported hovering near missile sites, monitoring rocket launches, and appearing over military zones. These objects never attack, never communicate, and never show aggression. If Earth is a controlled environment, contact won't happen when you ask for answers. It will happen only when the observers decide you are ready. Number 9, the ancient contact theory. Long before telescopes, satellites, or written science, early civilizations described encounters they could not fully explain. The ancient contact theory suggests that Earth may have been visited in prehistoric times, with those events recorded through mythology, carvings, and sacred traditions rather than data. Across continents, cultures with no known contact tell similar stories of beings arriving from the sky, traveling in radiant objects, and delivering knowledge that seemed to appear fully formed. Sumerian records describe sky-associated figures linked to writing and law. Egyptian monuments reflect astronomical precision and architectural understanding far ahead of their era. In Mesoamerica, the Maya developed calendars and star charts that required generations of observation. Supporters argue the pattern becomes harder to ignore when physical structures are considered. The Great Pyramid aligns with true north to near-perfect accuracy. At Pumapunku, stone blocks are shaped with geometric precision difficult to replicate today. Göbekli Tepe, older than organized agriculture, reveals intentional design and symbolic planning. These advancements appear suddenly, without a clear developmental trail. If such knowledge was briefly introduced and then removed, humanity may not be awaiting an unknown arrival, but the continuation of an unfinished encounter. Number 8, the nuclear monitoring theory. The moment humanity learned how to split the atom, something unusual may have begun paying attention. The nuclear monitoring theory focuses on a pattern documented in declassified military records from multiple countries. Since the late 1940s, unidentified objects have repeatedly appeared near nuclear missile silos, weapons storage facilities, and test sites. Reports from the United States, Russia, and former Soviet states describe glowing craft hovering above launch facilities, sometimes coinciding with unexpected system failures. In several well-known cases, trained officers reported entire missile arrays shutting down simultaneously while an object remained visible overhead. Other incidents describe weapons activating without authorization, as if external control was being tested. These encounters are notable for their consistency. The objects show no interest in cities, civilians, or conventional military assets. Their focus remains narrowly fixed on nuclear infrastructure. Witnesses include radar operators, pilots, and launch commanders with strict reporting protocols and little incentive to fabricate events. Supporters argue this behavior suggests deliberate monitoring rather than random sightings. Nuclear technology represents a critical threshold, a point where a young civilization gains the ability to erase itself. If advanced observers track such moments across the universe, Earth may have been flagged long ago, quietly watched to prevent a premature ending. Number 7, the government contact cover-up theory. Some theories suggest contact didn't fail because it was impossible, but because it was hidden. The government contact cover-up theory argues that world powers may have interacted with a non-human intelligence decades ago and deliberately kept it from the public. This idea draws support from patterns in declassified documents, whistleblower accounts, and abrupt shifts in government behavior following major UFO incidents. After the 1947 Roswell event, large portions of aerial research in the United States were suddenly classified. Budgets were diverted into black projects with no public explanation, while aerospace companies received funding tied to technologies they were not allowed to describe. Similar secrecy appeared across rival nations, suggesting coordination rather than coincidence. Reports involving multiple trained witnesses were often dismissed immediately, even when radar data and visual confirmation aligned. Materials allegedly recovered from crashes vanished into military custody, never to be independently analyzed. Supporters argue secrecy was justified as damage control. Officials may have feared panic, religious disruption, or political instability if the truth emerged. Some versions of the theory claim the contact was not entirely benign. If so, the most important discovery in human history may already exist, locked inside classified reports, withheld until someone decides the world can handle it. Number 6. The astronaut whisper theory. Some of the earliest witnesses to unexplained encounters were not civilians looking at the sky, but trained astronauts already in orbit. The astronaut whisper theory centers on accounts from space missions where crew members reported objects behaving unlike any known technology. Astronauts from NASA, the Russian space program, and European agencies have described lights pacing their spacecraft, shapes maintaining fixed distances, and objects accelerating instantly without visible propulsion. These reports often surfaced only after retirement, when careers were no longer at risk. In several missions, communication blackouts reportedly occurred at the exact moment a strange object appeared nearby, raising questions about external interference. Others described bright spheres that mirrored their movements or vanished abruptly, behavior inconsistent with debris, satellites, or natural phenomena. What makes these accounts unsettling is their consistency across decades and agencies. Astronauts are extensively trained observers, accustomed to identifying reflections, equipment malfunctions, and orbital clutter. Yet many insisted what they saw did not match any known explanation. Space agencies routinely downplayed these claims, labeling them as visual artifacts or refusing comment entirely. Supporters argue this silence suggests restriction rather than confusion. If something is observing Earth from orbit, the first to notice would be those already above it, seeing more than they are permitted to describe. Number 5. The interdimensional visitor theory. Not every theory assumes contact required traveling across space. The interdimensional visitor theory suggests that non-human intelligence may originate from dimensions beyond those humans can perceive. Modern physics allows for the possibility of extra dimensions folded into reality, invisible to direct observation. If an advanced species evolved within such dimensions, it wouldn't need spacecraft in the conventional sense. Supporters argue this could explain why many sightings involve objects that appear suddenly, blur at the edges, ignore gravity, and vanish without acceleration. Witnesses across history describe luminous shapes flickering in and out of view, behavior more consistent with intersection than arrival. The theory is often compared to how a three-dimensional object would appear to a two-dimensional being, briefly materializing before disappearing again. This framework also explains why such entities are difficult to capture clearly on camera and why their movement defies known physics. Ancient accounts describing beings who emerged from nowhere and vanished the same way are frequently cited as early examples. Some physicists have speculated that dark matter or higher dimensional space could allow limited interaction with our universe. If this is true, contact may not be rare or dramatic. It may be constant, subtle, and largely unnoticed, with visitors passing through our world like observers walking through an exhibit. Number 4. The deep ocean contact theory. Instead of arriving from distant stars, some theories suggest advanced intelligence may already exist beneath Earth's oceans. The deep ocean contact theory focuses on reports of unidentified submerged objects, often called USOs, encountered by naval crews and submarine operators. For decades, sonar data and eyewitness accounts have described objects moving underwater at extreme speeds, diving deeper than any known submarine, then exiting the ocean vertically without slowing down. These encounters are frequently reported near deep-sea trenches, volcanic vents, and underwater cave systems that remain largely unexplored. What gives the theory weight is the credibility of the witnesses. Many reports come from trained military personnel whose jobs require identifying every known vessel and underwater phenomenon. When conventional explanations are eliminated, something unknown remains. Supporters argue that an intelligent species could have evolved separately in the ocean, adapting to crushing pressure, darkness, and extreme cold. Such beings would have no reason to build cities on land or interact openly with surface life. Their technology might rely on principles humans have barely begun to understand, such as extreme supercavitation or alternative energy systems. If an advanced civilization exists beneath the seas, Earth may never have been empty. Contact may have occurred long before humans ever thought to look upward. Number 3, the biological contact theory. Some theories argue that contact didn't involve machines or messages, but biology itself. The biological contact theory suggests that non-human life may have reached Earth in microscopic or organic forms that went unnoticed. Scientists already consider panspermia plausible, the idea that microbes can travel between planets aboard comets, meteorites, or interstellar dust. If simple life can spread this way, proponents argue advanced life could also use biology as a delivery system. Supporters point to organisms on Earth that challenge standard evolutionary explanations. Extremophiles thrive in boiling acid, intense radiation, and crushing pressure, environments once thought completely hostile to life. Certain viruses remain so poorly understood that their origins are still debated. Some researchers have even speculated that sudden evolutionary events, such as the Cambrian explosion, may reflect the introduction of foreign biological material rather than slow, gradual change. The unsettling implication is not merely that alien microbes could exist here, but that they may have shaped Earth's ecosystems and influenced evolution itself. If contact occurred at the cellular level, humanity may never have recognized it as contact at all. We may be the outcome of a process that began far beyond Earth, quietly embedded into life itself. Number 2, the ancient probe theory. Some scientists believe Earth may have been contacted long before humans ever existed, not by living beings, but by machines. The ancient probe theory proposes that advanced civilizations could have launched autonomous probes millions or even billions of years ago, designed to explore the galaxy and outlast their creators. These machines would not resemble traditional spacecraft, but self-repairing systems capable of drifting silently through space, observing emerging worlds. Since intelligent species arise at different times, such probes may have reached the solar system long before life on Earth left the oceans. Supporters point to unusual objects detected in recent years that behave unlike comets or asteroids. Some accelerate without visible propulsion or reflect sunlight in unexpected ways, raising questions about their nature. The theory suggests these probes would remain dormant until they detected signs of intelligence, then begin monitoring without interference. To avoid discovery, they could hide in stable orbits, asteroid fields, deep oceans, or on the far side of the moon. Because they are machines, their creators may no longer exist. Humanity could be studied by relics of a civilization that vanished long ago. If this theory is correct, contact wasn't recent or dramatic. It happened silently, before humans could notice, and the observers may still be watching. Number 1, the signal suppression theory. Welcome back, and before we end, consider one final possibility that quietly connects everything you've just heard. The signal suppression theory suggests that contact may not only have occurred, but that evidence of it is systematically removed. For decades, researchers involved in SETI have questioned why artificial signals never persist, despite billions of stars and countless potentially habitable planets. Engineered transmission should stand out from natural cosmic noise, yet every promising detection fades or disappears. Some scientists point to fast radio bursts and anomalous signals that appear once, never repeat, and resist verification. Others note unexplained gaps in early satellite data and missing archives from Cold War-era space monitoring programs. Supporters argue an advanced civilization wouldn't need to reveal itself or interfere directly. It could simply filter the universe, intercepting inbound and outbound signals before young civilizations recognize what they're hearing. Awareness would be delayed without force. The unsettling implication is that humanity may already be reaching outward inside a controlled system, where silence is carefully maintained. If you found yourself thinking a little differently while listening, staying with the channel helps keep these explorations going. It's worth staying curious.